Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here in Sydney presenting an IMARC and talking about Yandal's discovery opportunities. All right, so we're a gold exploration company. Very simple objective. We want to increase shareholder value through the discovery of major deposits. Underpinning that is the application of a very sort of technical and systematic approach to exploration. And really what we're looking to do is expose investors to the potential growth from major new discoveries. And we're hoping to make these discoveries in a region with significant milling capacity. And we're surrounded by a number of miners and developers with a strong appetite to acquire near mine ounces. Just a quick overview of our register and board there. Share price is up significantly following a discovery that we made about a month ago, bouncing around sort of 36 to 38 cents. We leveraged that discovery to complete a capital raise a couple of weeks ago. End of sort of September cash position puts us at about 16.1 million with those placement funds that we raised. As you can see, a very tight register and a very small but effective board. We do have some other funding coming in over the next couple of months. We've got about 2.6 million in 11 cent options that are well in the money, and that they're due to expire in November. And then on top of that, we sold an asset to Horizon Minerals in August early this year, and that's very close to completion. We should get that cash in as well. So just looking at our assets, we're focused in the Yandal Greenstone Belt, which is located in the northeastern goldfields of WA. We've got two key projects. We've got the Mount McClure Gold Project down towards the south there. That's got an existing resource of 182,000 ounces at 1.7 grams per tonne. It's a historic mining centre, and there's a lot of opportunity there for incremental resource growth, and it's quite a nice strategic asset for us. Our flagship asset, though, is the Ironstone Walbawidgie Gold Project, located further towards the north. We've got an existing resource there of 268,000 ounces at 1.1 grams per tonne out at Flushing Meadows. But more importantly, that's where we've been having a lot of success in early stage exploration. We made a discovery there this time last year called Siona within the New England Granite. And about a month ago, we confirmed another discovery called Arrakis, hosted within the Caledon target area. We really like the Yandal Greenstone Belt. We think there's a lot of opportunity there. It's relatively underexplored compared to a lot of the other greenstone belts within the eastern goldfields. There's a lot of previous exploration that was quite ineffective. It's a great geological setting, and as you can see, we're surrounded by a number of active mines and development projects, including Northern Star, Emerald, Bellevue and Wiluna. So if we are successful, there's a lot of pathways there to monetize our success. So zooming in on Ironstone Walbawidgie, you can sort of see down towards the south within the New England Granite is our sort of Siona discovery, but then right in the middle of our sort of tenement package is our Caledon target area or Caledon Fold, and that hosts our Arrakis discovery. Both of them are very early stage. Both of them were sort of prioritised within our exploration strategy because we saw the potential for regionally significant discoveries. We're looking for 1 million ounce plus. And both of them didn't exist before we started executing this strategy. They're new targets, they're sort of virgin discoveries, and that's been a priority for us, is identifying these new opportunities within the Yandal Greenstone Belt. We're progressing both of these new discoveries. So out at Siona, we're completing a number of air core programs to identify similar discoveries to Siona along that sort of deformed intrusive edge. And out at Arrakis, which we really only confirmed that discovery about 4 months ago, we're trying to understand the scale of the mineralised system there, and we think there's a lot of opportunity there for investors. So zooming in on Arrakis, so historically very little drilling across there. There was a small program completed in the mid-90s, 400 metre by 400 metre spaced vertical RAB holes. Most of those holes are relatively ineffective. There's sort of 2 to 20 metres of transported cover through here, and a lot of that drilling really didn't get through the transported cover, or where it did, it only sampled the depleted sort of upper clay zone. What it did do is highlight a very low level geochem anomaly, and that's what really got us excited about Arrakis. It's quite an attractive structural setting with this sort of low level geochem anomaly. That's why we prioritise it within the exploration strategy. We sort of kicked off initially in 2024 with a single air core line, which returned a best intercept of 11 metres at 1.7. And then in May this year, we completed a heritage survey that sort of cleared 400 and 800 metre space lines, and we started a 13.5 thousand metre air core program across 400 and 800 metre space lines across that entire fold structure. That generated a really sort of large-scale mineralised trend, about 2.2 kilometres long. That sits within a broader sort of 3.2 kilometre regolith anomaly. That was an excellent result from a first pass air core program, and we immediately set about coming underneath those air core intercepts with an RC rig, and that's what really confirmed the discovery for us. So up on screen you can sort of see the first section of RC drilling that we completed underneath that historic, the sort of earlier air core intercept of 11 metres at 1.4. So we've got an RC hole there that returns 54 metres at 1.2 grams per tonne, including 24 metres at 2.1, and there's a high grade zone within it, 8 metres at 4.7 grams per tonne. You can sort of see we did a scissor, and the other sort of scissor ended in 6 metres at 1.1 grams per tonne. But that confirms that the air core intercepts that we were getting represent primary mineralisation within fresh rock, confirmed a subvertical geometry. We did another RC test 400 metres towards the north. That returned 50 metres at 1.3 grams per tonne, including 28 metres at 1.9 grams per tonne, with a similar geometry and a very similar alteration style. And as I said, we only got these results back about sort of 4 months ago, and we sort of leveraged the success to complete a capital raise, boost our cash position, and we're well funded to progress this discovery forward into the end of 2025 and into 2026. So looking ahead, we're completing a diamond drilling program, relatively small. We just want to come in and extend some of those RC holes that only partially or failed to sort of test that mineralised structure. On top of that, we're going to do some deeper diamond drilling underneath some of those significant intercepts. Again, trying to get really good structural and sort of stratigraphic information to help us understand why this mineralisation is there. We completed a 200 metre spaced line clearing heritage survey about 6 weeks ago. That's going to pave the way for an RC program that's going to commence in November. That RC program is effectively going to try and map out the extent of the mineralised system. And we've just finished another heritage survey this week, which is clearing 100 metre spaced lines across that sort of 2.2 kilometre mineralised trend that we identified in the air core drilling. On top of that, we're going to do a little bit more air core drilling towards the southeast and northwest, and across some parallel structures there as well. So very early stage. Those RC intercepts are on sort of 400 sort of metre spaced lines, so very broad. But we're really focused on trying to understand what it is that we might have at Arrakis. We think there's a lot of potential to sort of meet our targeting criteria. We are looking for a 1 million ounce plus position here, and the results that we sort of get across these programs over the next 2 to 3 months are really going to be integral to informing us if we have that sort of potential. On top of sort of Arrakis, we made a discovery this time last year called Siona. That's sort of up here within this sort of New England granite. That's the first time mineralisation's been demonstrated within that intrusive host. It was a nice discovery, a very good technical discovery, but it's probably not the scale that we're looking for. But what we are doing is taking what we learnt from that discovery and applying it around the sort of margin of that New England granite intrusive, trying to identify similar structural settings and hopefully identify more opportunities for mineralisation and potentially larger scale sort of mineralisation opportunities. To progress this, because we learnt a lot from Siona, including structural setting and sort of pathfinders, we're coming back to air core drilling this year, and we're sort of doing broad space lines across these sort of structural targets. We're going to do some geochem on those on that drill program, and we've got a good idea of what we're looking for after sort of all the work we did at Siona earlier this year. And as I said, we're hoping to identify similar mineralised positions. We completed part of that air core program a couple of months ago. We paused it to do that follow-up RC drilling out at Arrakis, and we've got that air core starting up again this week. The last thing I just want to talk about is Flushing Meadows. We haven't been marketing this too heavily over the last couple of years, but we do have an existing resource out at Ironstone Well Barwidgee. It's about 268,000 ounces, 1.1 grams per tonne, relatively low grade, but it's predominantly an oxide transitional resource, very little fresh rock. It's unmined position, we've got mineralisation from surface, but you can see it's quite an extensive position, about sort of nearly 2 kilometres in strike. And we like this mineralised position. We think there's a lot of opportunity to firstly grow that resource by testing fresh rock positions. But we've been learning a lot about the structures across the project with the success that we've been having at Siona and Arrakis, and we think there's a lot of opportunity to find sort of parallel mineralised positions and along strike mineralised positions at Flushing Meadows. And we're going to look to do some heritage surveys across here in the near future to open up some drill positions so that we can start doing a bit more work across Flushing Meadows as we sort of head into 2026. Up on screen you can sort of see the schedule and a quick overview of what we've got ahead of us over the next sort of 4 to 6 months. We're going to be very busy. We've got a strong cash position heading into the end of 2025, and that'll fund us all the way through 2026. We've got additional funds coming in from options that are well and truly in the money, and through an asset sale that should be finalised in the coming week. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for investors that are looking for the upside that comes with large-scale discoveries, particularly in mature regions where there's a lot of infrastructure in place. So we made that discovery at Arrakis. We're in the process of understanding how big that mineralised system is. We made the Siona gold discovery this time last year, and we're trying to identify similar positions across that newly defined host. Very strategically located deposits. We're close to existing milling and processing infrastructure. Hopefully you can see that we've got a very technically driven and sort of systematic approach to exploration. Our exploration strategy that we initiated in 2023 is really starting to mature, and you can see that with the discoveries that we've been making over the last year. And we've got a very strong cash position to progress these discoveries into 2026. I'll leave you there. We've got a very small booth, and I'll be here for the next couple of days. So if you have the time, please pop by the booth and say hello. It's a very sort of brief presentation. There's a lot to discuss, so please come and say hello if you have the time. Thank you.
Chris, I'm going to keep you up there for a minute because we've got time. Do you want to take a couple of questions from me?
I'd love to take some questions.
There we go. Yeah. Take one of those. Let's go. Actually, Richard Morrow's probably got a couple of questions, haven't you, Richard? No. I'm doing this, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got some time. If you've got a question, put your hand high up in the air and I will take it. But in the meantime, Chris, what's your biggest challenge right now?
Biggest challenge, there's two things. One is probably heritage surveys, and it's just the time frame. Our native title, the culture of our land, they're excellent, but we're competing with Northern Star and a lot of other sort of development projects for their time to complete these surveys, and that's probably the biggest hurdle for executing our programs. And we've put a lot of focus this year and in previous years in getting ahead of where we want to be with those heritage surveys, so that within the sort of next sort of 6 to 12 months, we've done the clearing that we need. That's difficult because you don't often...
Did you just say 6 to 12 months? Is that the sort of length of time that you're looking at for these surveys, or are you just saying that that's the whole overall plan?
That's what we're trying to clear now for the next 6 to 12 months. So it's quite good. We can get a survey done within sort of 4 to 6 weeks within the season. So it's quite responsive, but we are competing for their time. That's probably the biggest challenge.
That's the biggest challenge, but you said 2.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Probably the weather. So we're hitting summer. Okay. We've had a lot of success, and we don't have a lot of infrastructure out at site. So we know we get a lot of rainfall across summer as well, and that really limits access. So we're in that position of just trying to understand how do we keep progressing these sort of assets and these discoveries over the summer period, so that we're in a good position once it does start to cool down and the rain disappears in early 2026.
Well, as an investor myself, where I want to know is, as we go into 2026, what are the catalysts for shareholder value that you can see? Yeah,
so the big one for us with the Arrakis discovery is that 200 metre spaced RC program that we're completing. That's really going to map out the extent of the mineralised system. Those results will be coming in, that program's starting in November, so we should be getting those results in over December and January. That's really going to tell us how big Arrakis is. We're getting some nice broad sort of intercepts. There's some high grade there as well. But that program...
When you say high grade, what are we talking?
Sort of 2 to 4 gram per tonne material.
I look at high grade as 14 to 20. No, just kidding.
Traditionally, yes. But we're seeing those narrow high-grade zones within it. It's a very broad space test, so we think there's that potential there. So those results will really tell us what are we dealing with. Is it 500,000? Is it 1 million, or is it bigger in terms of potential endowment there? So if I was an investor, I'd be keeping an eye out for those results.
And you probably mentioned it, but I was a bit busy at the back. How deep are you drilling at the moment?
Yeah, so the RC drilling that we've done so far across Arrakis is sort of going down to about 200 metres vertical.
Okay.
The diamond drilling that we're doing at the moment, that's going to extend some of those RC drillings. That's probably going to go down to about 250 metres vertical, and then we'll probably do some deeper diamond there that's going down to 300 metres vertical, which is probably as deep as you want to go from an open pit sort of perspective. The RC drilling that we're doing in November, we're probably going to keep it to about 200 metres vertical with some deeper holes where we've got the sort of confirmed trend. We're limiting it at that depth for the moment, just because we're focused on understanding the sort of footprint, and we don't want to go too deep too early. But if there's evidence of higher grade zones within the mineralised system, we'll certainly start to look at some deeper holes. It's worth noting that we do have some transported cover. It's 2 to 20 metres, and we do have quite deep sort of regolith profile, weathering profile, and there is some depletion in the upper part there. So we have to make sure we get beneath that with our RC drilling, and fresh rock tests are critical, and that's why we're sort of focused on getting the RC in at that sort of 150 to 250 metre sort of vertical depth.
Well, plenty of news to come. I really appreciate you coming up and just spending a couple of moments with me. Please thank Chris.
Thanks, Kerry.
Thanks, Chris.